There's something really simple that you can do to gain the trust of more people around you. And it can be your friends, family, and women. And that is to keep your word. We're going to get into this using one very specific example today, and that is punctuality. So let's get into it. Now, we've all heard the saying, be a man of your word, or you have to say what you mean and mean what you say. And a big reason why this is so important is because a man develops his sense of trust by following through with the promises that he makes. And the more you deviate from what you say you're going to do, the more your trust starts to wane with the people that you interact with. And since this channel it focuses on dating relationships, when you think about it from that perspective, if you are a man who says a lot but doesn't do or hold his promises, well, guess what? The women in your life are going to see this, they're going to feel this, and they're going to reject this ultimately. They're not going to trust your masculine core. And so what's going to happen to you on that realm is that you're going to either you're going to repulse feminine women who look up to a man, who want to follow a man's leadership because they can't trust you because you don't follow through with what you say. And two, you're going to attract domineering masculine women who like to be in charge because they see you as a little kid who cannot take care of himself, and that she has to look after you, nag at you, tell you what to do, put you in your place because you clearly can't do it yourself. So in a way, it's deserved because of your own behavior. So I'm hoping that most of you guys out there are not like this, but if you are, let's talk about this. And I want to use procrastinate or punctuality as the example because I think punctuality, being on time, for those of you who don't know what that word means, being punctual, it means to be on time. This is a microcosm for your behavior at large. If you're a guy who is not punctual, who doesn't value withholding times that you set with people, well, this is going to show itself. It's going to rear its ugly head in other aspects of your life. And that is where things slowly start to spiral out of control. So to keep yourself in check, you must train yourself to be punctual. And when I say punctual, it means you show up on time. Better yet, you show up 5 minutes early. I lived in Japan for 7 years, for those of you who don't know. And one of their famous phrases, "5 前は遅い," 5 minutes early is already too late. They're a very punctual society. Everything runs to the second. There are trains. When you go to a restaurant, you have a 2-hour time limit. If you're doing like an all-you-can-eat thing, they're very, very punctual people. And that's something that I really took away from that culture, is actually something that I was very much like that beforehand. But this really reinforced it. I really respect people who are punctual. I like to be very punctual. And I get irritated when people are not punctual with times that we've set. So being punctual represents a couple of different things, okay? One of them is how well can you follow through with your word, okay? How well can you organize your day, get things done, pay attention to the clock so that you are preparing yourself to meet so-and-so at a certain time. So that's one of the things that teaches you is how to make sure that you're organized and that you're paying attention to your surroundings, okay? 2, it also shows your level of respect for that person that you're meeting. By not showing up on time, you're essentially breaking a promise that you two have made. If you're supposed to meet at 12 noon and you deviate from that, well, you're breaking that promise that you made. And now breaking a promise is a stain on your character. If you continue to do this, that your reputation and their level of trust for you obviously will go down. And people who value themselves, people who have a high self-esteem, they're not going to want to stick around you. They're going to want to be like, you know what? We're not inviting that dude because he always shows up late. It's disrespectful, and I don't put up with that. So what's going to happen is good quality people are going to distance themselves from you, but people who put up with bad behavior, who don't mind if people are late, those are the people that are remain. And many of those people are going to be other low quality people that will probably disappoint you eventually somewhere down the line. So this is something that this is why it's so important for you to maintain your word when it comes to punctuality. Now, of course, there are going to be some outside or extreme circumstances where you can't be there right on time. Now, of course, that is life and those things happen. But the key here is to communicate and tell the party that you're making wait, hey, this is what's going on. I'm going to be there at such and such a time. Now, you can use this once every now and then, but I know a guy who uses this every single time he's meeting with someone. It'll be like 10 minutes before they're supposed to meet. Oh, sorry, I'm going to be 15 minutes late. Or, hey, I'm running late. And it's always right before they're supposed to meet. So that's very disrespectful. The fact that he's not keeping his promise and meeting them at that time, it says that what I'm doing is more important than what you're doing. I'm going to make you wait while I handle my own business that I'm working on. That's what you're telling that other person. And then just to have the disrespect, to also have the disrespectfulness of not even telling them in advance, like, hey, something came up, so I'm going to be 15 minutes late. At least tell them a while in advance. Now, again, there's going to be circumstances where you maybe can't do that all the time, and I get that. But you see patterns with certain people that are always late, and they do the same things over and over and over again. These are the type of people that I recommend others to avoid. If men that I'm coaching tell me that a woman that they're seeing is late, I'm like, she's out. If they have friends that do that, I say to them, they should be out. Move on from them. If my clients are doing this, I hold them to task. I say, this is not acceptable. And even if they show up late to my sessions, I'll be like, what's going on? Why are you late? What's the deal? Do you notice that you are repeatedly doing this? I hold them to task. And I think if you're a good friend, you will hold your friends to task if they're late. Now, people who are late like to flip it on you and say, hey, man, why are you so uptight? Why are you getting all bent out of shape about it? Chill out, man. Relax. Because they don't want to hold accountability for their own behaviors. So what you do with that is up to you. But my recommendation is move on from those type of people because they're going to frustrate you. They're going to irritate you. And when you get irritated, your energy goes down. Your productivity goes down. You don't feel good. You're not in your best motivated state. And you should be around people who push you and who respect you and who keep their promise, not people who break them, who make you feel like you're not worthy of their time. You know, people who put you at the bottom of their priority list. That's not smart to put yourself around people like that. You want to be around people who respect you and prioritize you and who have the ability to function in their own daily schedule to prioritize their things, to have their shit together. So when they say they're going to meet someone, they show up. When it comes to dating, a lot of the times guys will be wishy-washy about their plans with women. One of the tenets that I tell the men that I work with is like, set a time with the girl exactly. Say 7 o'clock at Applebee's. And don't be fucking wishy-washy about it. You know, like, oh, it's around 7:30, around this, around that, or maybe on this time, or maybe this day. Don't do that, because that leaves her up in there. She cannot develop a trust for your masculine core. You need to be showing her from the very get-go that you are a man who does what he says. You need to teach her this, and in a way train her to understand that you are this type of a man, and then you expect the same. Because so many guys leave things up in the air the day of, oh, are you still free tonight? Dude, that's fucking disrespectful, man. Don't do that. Guys who are always saying, are we still on for tonight? Are you still available tonight? that shows that you're used to people changing plans on you, canceling on you. Of course you're still on. You said to her, hey, I'll meet you at Friday night, 7 o'clock at Applebee's. What you say goes. And if you say, I'll meet you at 7 o'clock at Friday, 7 p.m. at Applebee's, and then Friday, 5 o'clock rolls around and say, hey, are we still on for tonight? Then you look like, well, what the fuck did you set the plans for earlier in the week if you didn't mean it? So this is what you need to get in the habit of doing. Your word is your bond. You need to get in the habit of getting comfortable, because a lot of the guys, they're uncomfortable because I need to confirm with her. No, you don't need to confirm with her. What you say is your word. Allow people to understand this about you. And if they choose to well, you never confirmed, so I didn't show up. It is what it is, man. If they're that kind of person who doesn't also hold their word when you say, hey, meet me here, and they said, okay, I'll meet you there at 7, and they don't show up because you didn't confirm, then they're messed up too. They don't have a good self-esteem either, and you don't want to deal with that. So there's no need to be confirming and reconfirming and all this other stuff. You said it, and then you meet her there when you say. So get used to being a man of your word, and soon enough, people around you will know that what this guy says, he does it, and I can trust him. This is a very powerful masculine trait to have, and if you don't do it, you're going to attract low-quality people, and your life is going to resonate with a lot of negative energy. It's no way to live, okay? So if you are interested in interacting more, I have a private men's group called Club Scoundrel. I do 2 live group coachings every month, and we have a great community on Discord where we share different ideas, thoughts, things going on. A place for men to just come out, hang out, and be men and not worry about censoring themselves or their thoughts. It's $10 a month. Click the link down below and join us today. And if you haven't already, I invite you to subscribe to the channel. And that'll do it for today's video. We will see you in the next one.